Hey guys, what's going on? It's your good guy here, PrinceOnyx, and I'm here to talk about a topic that has been buzzing around the internet for quite some time now. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So, for those of you all who do watch Sleepy Hollow or know what the show is, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So, in the season finale, that was, I believe, let me check the date. So, yeah, it was about last Friday, the season finale for, I think it was season 4. No, was it? Yeah, I think it was season 4. Anyway, this past season of Sleepy Hollow, the writers pretty much shot themselves in the foot by killing off one of the lead characters on the show. Nicole Bahari, and I believe I'm saying her last name right. If I didn't, I apologize. But Nicole Bahari, her character Abby Mills, which was the female black lead character. What the hell? Anyway, the somebody's phone is going off. Anyway, the lead black female character, she was killed off. Now with Sleepy Hollow, the show is about, there's the mythology within the show that talks about the two witnesses who come together, their fates are bound together, and they're supposed to go on this journey to stop and fight back against the Book of Revelations, essentially the four horsemen of apocalypse. And so, throughout this series, we've been seeing that. But also, let's go back to season 1. So with season 1, it was a hit. The show was a huge success. The ratings were fucking crazy, just out there. It was a really good show. Again, ratings were crazy. Bringing in a lot of money, ad revenue money, whatever. Just it was a really, really good show. But what a lot of people don't know is that behind the scenes, not just with season 1, but all the seasons up until now, Nicole Bahari was being treated very harshly and very badly. Because of course you're going to have a lot of deflectors and a lot of these racist fucking pricks who will say that, oh, she wanted to leave. Oh, she wanted to leave. What else could they do? Da 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 da. It's always talking about the effect, but never about the cause. And shout out to my girl Cena for saying that. It's always about the effect and not the cause. And see, the cause is because of how she was being treated. Hell, for the season 2 DVD, when they did the behind the scenes, commentary, guess who wasn't invited to do that? Yeah, that's right. Nicole wasn't invited to do that. And so with season 1, what ended up happening was going into season 2, the two showrunners that they had left the show and went on to do other shows. Then they got two new showrunners who pretty much, along with them, they bought a whole new writing team and they sidetracked the fuck out of damn near all the characters of color in order to boost up and put up the white characters. Because basically, these writers and showrunners and producers, even with Teen Wolf, how they treat their characters of color, I'll get to that in a minute. I just have to remind myself. But anyway, in general, with these TV shows that have these, genre shows, these crime thrillers, crime drama, thriller, mystery, suspense, horror, supernatural, mythological, whatever the fuck, mythology, sci-fi shows, they really are embedded, and they are so embedded within this racist, institutionalized racist mindset that white is the norm and is what is expected and what needs to be appraised and put up on a pedestal. Fuck everybody else, fuck all the other fan bases. We need to only boost up and put up the white people. And it's a fucked up mentality because it's like with Sleepy Hollow, they had a huge demographic of African American females who love the show and who watch the show. They had a huge demographic of them. But because they, don't really give a fuck about you and they feel like, you're better off watching Love and Hip Hop, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Potomac, Black Ink Crew, because they feel like you're better off watching that, they don't want you around. And so essentially, again, they shot themselves in the foot by doing this because, to be honest with you, if this is a season finale, bitch, I can't imagine what the next season is going to be like. Because their excuse was, oh, we had to kill her character off in order to, come back strong for the next season. Bitch, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I guess when it comes to Team fucking Wolf, if they were to come back, hypothetically, if they were to come back for a season 7, they gotta kill Scott off in season 6. Because even with Teen Wolf, the same shit has been going on. Because when you look at certain flyers and posters, you got You got Styles, the white character. He's being put in the center of posters, and then you got Scott, the Latino lead of the show is about him. He's the fucking Teen Wolf. Like you got Scott, who was being put on the side, and it's just like, but he's the lead though. Like what the fuck? Like the advertise, like, God, it's like when you're like woke to certain shit, and being woke doesn't just apply to black folks, but when you're woke to certain shit, you start noticing a lot of key things. Like, hell, with Person of Interest, another perfect example of a show that killed themselves. They shot themselves in the foot by killing off Taraji's character. Now, granted, it was said that Taraji said she wanted to go or whatever, but truth be told, and listen, I'm not trying to speak for her. I'm not trying to speak for any of these people, but what I'm just speaking my opinions and my thoughts, and basically, quite frankly, truth of the matter on these situations. Who's to say that Taraji wasn't being treated bad on her own fucking show where she was the fucking lead? You know, going back to Nicole with Sleepy Hollow, the treatment was fucking horrible. Even Orlando Jones, who was on the show, even he came out and said, you know, he spoke out about the treatment that all the people of color, the actors of color, faced while being on that show. And even they had Amanda Steinberg, the girl Amanda, you know, who was in Hunger Games. I'm trying to remember. I think her last name is Steisenberg. I'm sorry, baby girl, but for, you know, mispronouncing your name. I'm so sorry. But, you know, even she was on the show for a little bit, but then they sidetracked the hell out of her too. It's like, and then, Jill Marie Jones, she was on the show too. Again, sidetracked it. It's just like, hell, speaking of Jill Marie Jones, they killed her character off in Ash vs. Evil Dead, which pissed me off because she was the only black character on there. But now it's season 2, they're bringing another black actress. She was on Law & Order SVU. I can't really think of her name right now, but I'm pretty damn sure her character is going to get killed off before that season is even over. Like, the only diversity that they have on that show is the one Latino guy, and it's just like, it was a close call that they almost killed him off in the season 1 finale, but they kept him around. And it's just like, you know, people of color in general are neglected and deflected, and nobody feels like our viewership and our ratings and our demographics are good enough. It's like, again, you're pushing the stereotype and you're pushing this, you know, racist rhetoric that white is the norm, and that is the fan base and the demographic that we really want to go after. We don't want y'all niggas. We'll get you niggas for a little while, but okay, great. The ratings are up. The show is good. All right, get rid of these niggas. Get rid of these Asians. Get rid of anybody who ain't white. Get rid of all the fan bases. It's fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me bring up Teen Wolf. Basically, with season 6, it's been announced that the young actress who played Kira, Arden Cho, I believe that's how you say her name. Again, I apologize if I mispronounced it. They wrote her character off. And pause for a second, because let's talk about writing characters off. So with Criminal Minds, Shamar Moore, perfect example. He wanted to leave the show. You know what they did when they, you know, wrote him off? They wrote him off in a way that if he wanted to come back, he could have came back. The story was that he wanted to spend more time with his kids and his family and, you know, and his wife. So that's how they wrote his character off. Because if but he did, and it was like also in the storyline, if he wanted to come back, you know, he could or he would. So again, that's how they wrote him off. You see, when you write people off, you don't always have to kill them. You don't always have to murder them. But of course, you do it any fucking way. And it's just like with Teen Wolf, it's like only 3. I can name you. Well, I can't name them, but I can damn sure point them out. It's only 3 people of color on there. The one black guy who is the one black guy who's the other werewolf's best friend, the gay guy, and the veterinarian, and, you know, Scott. Well, yeah, Dr. Allen, the veterinarian, and Scott, the Latino lead of the show. That's it. Oh, and then they have the black actress, but then again, it's like in the what season was it they introduced her in? I want to say it was season 4. It was season 4, season 3. I want to say it was it had to be season 3. They introduced her first. The fucking episode practically killed her off. Well, they gave us the illusion that she was dead, but she was actually still alive. What are we even here for? Like, what are we even here for then? It's just, Uh, it's fucking ridiculous and it's fucking crazy. And this is what happens when we don't own our fucking image, when we don't, you know, it's not that we don't create our own stories, it's just that our own stories aren't being given the chance to be distributed. Because again, ties back into how they say that, black films don't, travel well overseas or do well overseas, so why bother spending the money? Which goes into, back to, let's take us back to Sleepy Hollow. How they most likely felt that, oh, with all this diversity, we're going to be labeled a black show, so we got to kill the diversity, sideline these characters, write these people off, get rid of these people in order to, be considered a regular show, or be considered a deeming show, or deeming, a worthy show or whatever. Because it's just like, you don't want the term black show or black film or whatever the fuck when you have diversity. But it's like numbers and statistics and everything else has shown that when you have more diversity, shows do better, ratings and money wise, and just shows do better when you have diversity. But see, the thing is, we're getting a lot of fake ass diversity. People are just throwing in people of color just for the fucking sake of it, and that's wrong. That's fucking wrong. Because then you have not just your token black, you have because then you don't just have your token black, you have the token Latino, the token Muslim, the token gay, the token Asian. Like, nobody really gives a fuck about, just nobody really gives a fuck. Like, it's really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of that, it also goes to, what are the writing teams looking like? Because the majority of the writers, the producers, the showrunners, the directors, the executive producers, hell, the first and second assistant director, the unit production manager, whatever. Yeah, I'm putting all the labels, the titles out there. The majority of them are white. Hell, even I'm pretty damn sure the makeup departments on most of these shows are fucking white. So it's like the majority of them are white, and that majority, that's the majority that does not give a fuck. When the shows first start, when shows like Sleepy Hollow and Teen Wolf first start out and they have all this diversity, you soon realize and you soon see that all that shit is being stripped away by season 2, by season 3, season 4, season 5. You can barely even fucking recognize these shows anymore after a while. It's just like, wait a minute, what show am I watching? And that's the thing, because a lot of these producers and writers, they hate the fact that they have diverse fan bases. They hate the fact that they have diverse demographics. They hate the fact that they have to, pander. They have to pander to the blacks, pander to the Latinos, pander to the Asians, pander to the LGBT community, pander to the Muslim community, pander to the Indian community, pander. Just, they hate the fact that they have to pander to people of color. And it's just like, I'm just fucking speechless. Like, I'm just fucking speechless right now. It's just, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, God, and when will it end, y'all? Seriously, when the fuck will it end? I know I've been cursing a lot in this video. Listen, those of y'all that have been with me for the longest, you know how I fucking feel when it comes to this racist shit. You know how I fucking feel when it comes to this bullshit in Hollywood. You know how the fuck I feel, so fucking deal with it. God, this shit is really getting me. This shit is really getting me hot. Like, it's really pissing me off. Like, oh God, I don't even mean to. I don't even mean to do that. Yell at y'all, if you will. It's just, God damn it, just, because again, it's so many different independent shows and films out there that will never see the light of day. And you know why? Because they're a black film. Because it's a black movie. Because it's a Latino movie. So no distribution for you. It's fucking ridiculous, Joe. Again, it's even more fucked up that with the the upcoming Miles Davis biopic that Don Cheadle directed, wrote, and produced and acted in, the movie that's coming out about Miles Davis's life, it wouldn't even have gotten funding unless they added a white person in there. So they had to literally make up this fictional white journalist from the New York Times or whatever the fuck publishing, whatever the fuck news company, to come in. His character came in and he's pretty much, from the look of the trailer, he's pretty much with Miles Davis throughout this entire film and just documenting his experience of Miles Davis's comeback, if you will. And it's just like, really, the fact that they had to make a fictional white character in order to get funding, that's the fucked up part of it. It's really crazy because I'm remembering how, like, a couple of weeks ago in a creative writing club, my professor was we were having a discussion about like race and stuff like that, and how, like, white people really just don't get it when it comes to people of color and our issues and, our art and so on and so forth. And he was saying, because he notices that I do, talk about race a lot and all that stuff. This is a sideline story. Hold on, let me see how much time I got left. Okay, I got 12 minutes. Anyway, he was saying how, like, with me in particular, how, it's going to drive me crazy if I, like, keep, talking about these issues and stuff. He's black, by the way. How it's like, it'll drive me crazy talking about these issues, when I'm in front of white audiences and trying to explain my art to them and so on and so forth. And it's like, while I get that and while I understand it, because it's like, with me, it's like, I don't have a problem with, it's just I don't have a problem with white people. It's the majority of white people who are stuck in this white supremacist rhetoric and who are stuck in their racist ass ways that I have a problem with. It's them, the motherfuckers who, are in charge, if you will. The motherfuckers who, they can afford to make X amount of short films. A lot of their short films can be crappy and shitty and flop, but let's say one of their films, whether it's a short film or a feature film, they get the chance to fuck up in this industry and pick themselves back up and try again. Whereas somebody like me has to work 20 times as hard to make sure that my projects are the best, the top of the top, just to get to the fucking top. So anyway, it's like, while I get what my professor was saying, I'm not finna I don't ever want to silence my fucking voice and silence my opinion and bite my fucking tongue for no motherfucking body. Because if you don't understand it, and listen, after 20 minutes or 10 minutes of us talking that you still don't understand it, I'm not pandering to your ignorant dumb ass. That just is what it is. I'm not pandering to you, and I really don't give a fuck about your feelings. No one cares. No one cares about your feelings. The world doesn't revolve around you all the damn time. Dear white racist America, the world doesn't revolve around you all the fucking time. It doesn't revolve around you. And if you thumbs down this video, no one fucking cares, because clearly, listen, a hit dog will holler. I have my saying, a hit bitch will holler even louder. And clearly, a hit bitch is going to be hollering on this video. I am just tired of the bullshit, y'all. I'm so fucking tired of it. Like, goddamn, like, Sleepy Hollow was such a good show, and now they done fucked themselves over. I mean, hell, listen, Walking Dead is they striking they last fucking nerves with me, because it's just like every time they introduce a black guy, he either gonna die or he's either not as strong as the white characters. I mean, goddamn, like. Anyway, I mean, goddamn, like, I just, I'm just so fucking tired of the bullshit, and it's just, this is why I talk about it so much. This is why I talk about these issues so much, because they matter, okay? They fucking matter. This is why I talk about it so much. And if people have a problem with that, I'm not apologizing. Because that's the thing. We as black people, we as people of color apologize too fucking much. We apologize too fucking much, and we're always so welcoming of you know, we're always welcoming other people into the culture, into, you know, our space. Then when they take the shit from us, then we want to get upset. I'm not saying don't welcome people into the space, but be sure that they know the history first and foremost. Be sure that they understand who is the originator first and foremost. God damn, it's just I just, for the most part, am pretty much done with this video. I will maybe come back later tonight. I don't know. See how I'm feeling. I'm thinking about possibly, don't hold me to this, I'm thinking about reviewing Game of Silence, the new TV show that came on the other night. I'm thinking about it, so I'll see how I feel about that. I'm so fucking tired of the bullshit, y'all. Like, I'm fucking tired. Fucking tired, and that's just how I honestly feel. Like, day in and day out. Anyway, that is all I got for this video, you guys. Be sure to thumbs up, you know, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's talk about this issue when it comes to fake diversity and diversity in general when it comes to television and demographics. Let's talk about this, you guys. Let's seriously have a conversation about this. It's okay for us to disagree. We don't have to agree on everything. Let's just talk about this topic seriously. This is PrinceOnyx, and I will see you guys later. Peace. Ooh. Damn.